toga-wearing ancient Romans are considered models for many elements of human civilization, which have prevailed till modern times. The Romans are an ancient civilization that most people today know as being very cultured, gracious, and civilized. However, unbeknownst to the great majority of people today, there are certain things about the Roman civilization that we should be thankful for becoming a thing of the past. Welcome to Crazy History, where we bring you the craziest, weirdest facts from human history. Join us today as we look at the crazy things that the ancient Romans did. The color purple was forbidden. Although the citizens of ancient Rome loved the color purple, it was only restricted to the nobles and the extremely wealthy. The process of making purple dye was time-consuming and difficult, so it was then seen as a status symbol reserved for only the emperor and some nobles. As such, a regular Roman citizen seen wearing purple could be killed as it was considered treason. These Roman citizens would be stripped of all their clothes and then burnt alive, just for wearing the color purple. Their party habits were wild. Greeks weren't the only party animals of the European circle in ancient times. Rome's wealthiest population liked to party too, and they partied hard. Their feasts were lavish, long-lasting, and extremely ludicrous. The wealthy Romans consumed food like drugs during these feasts, and the food was not regular. It was made out of exotic animals, birds, and fish, and the more exotic the food, the more the party would be considered successful by the guests. Songbirds like pheasant and thrush, raw oysters, lobster, shellfish, venison, wild boar, and peacocks were common at a wealthy feast. Foods that were forbidden by sumptuary laws, such as fattened fowl and so's udders, were flagrantly consumed at the most exclusive feasts, which were equivalent to modern VIP nightclubs. So that's what goes on the other side of those velvet ropes. A surviving literary work of ancient Rome, Apicius is the account of cooking recipes that were invented to appease and amaze the guests and such extravagant feasts. But it wasn't the exotic and absurd food that was the creepy part of these profligate parties. The actual creepy thing about these feasts was the guests and their insatiable gluttony. Unlike modern times, where eating as little as possible is considered the classy thing to do, Romans liked to gorge on their servings, and they liked to keep doing it all night long. Cue Lionel Richie. Though some Americans with a bucket full of chicken wings like to dismiss it, the fact is the human stomach is not a black hole that can devour everything you throw in it. So Romans had to get a little creative for partying and eating till dawn. Their splendidly disgusting idea to accomplish that was to simply regurgitate the food after consuming it. Yup, they will just throw up voluntarily whatever they enjoyed eating a few minutes ago and then carry on dining as if nothing happened. Some people kept special bowls around the table for the purpose of collecting the bile, while others gave no care and puked straight up all over the floor and carried on eating. All their leaders were crazy. However, if you think that was the extent of Roman craziness, wait till you hear about their rulers. Talking about the mad regents of ancient Rome, everybody knows stories of Nero, whose obsession to become a singer cost hundreds of Roman lives, and Caligula, who tried to make his force a senator. But madness and mental illnesses were quite common among many Roman rulers, may have you believe that insanity was perhaps one of the qualifications to become an imperator. For example, Commodus, who was played by talented Joaquin Phoenix in the movie Gladiator, was indeed fond of fighting gladiators and had a delusion that he was Hercules reincarnated. Caracalla was known for his short temper and murdering his own brother Geta and his followers and later massacring many leading citizens of Alexandria, Egypt. Elagabalus, who became Roman emperor shortly after Caracalla, was the stark opposite of his predecessor. The teenage emperor was known for prostituting himself, sacralizing Roman religion and gods, and forcing a Vestal virgin into marrying him. His reign is known only for his extreme eccentricity, decadence, zealotry, and promiscuity. Empress Messalina, the wife of Emperor Claudius, was one step ahead of Elagabalus in matters of promiscuity and perversion. The marriage of Claudius and Messalina was mismatched, for Claudius was old and disinterested in family matters, while Messalina was only 18. But she was an important figure in Rome, as she was the great-grandniece of the first Roman Emperor Augustus. Being ignored in a marriage that only existed on papers didn't sit too well with her, and when Claudius succeeded Caligula as emperor, Messalina used her new powers to liberate herself from the prison-like marriage. Highly attractive, Messalina was eye candy for many suitors. Long-term repression made her revolt most absurdly as she ended up bedding over 150 lovers. She was also known for sneaking into brothels at night and challenging the most successful prostitutes of the city in a stamina war. It is recorded that Messalina managed to beat Rome's best escort Scylla by pleasing 25 men in a night while Scylla nearly fainted after her 24th. Later, while Claudius was in Ostia, Messalina eloped with Senator Gaius Silius, and the two lovers had an extravagant wedding with a feast and everything. When Claudius's advisors heard of it, they ordered her to commit suicide even though Claudius was benign towards her. They drank gladiators' blood. If Greece had Olympic athletes, Rome had gladiators, and like Greeks, Roman women loved to enjoy rubbing dead cells of dead gladiators on their faces like skin cream to attract men. Not only that, Romans were even a step ahead of the Greeks, as they would also enjoy drinking the blood of dead gladiators, hoping that it would cure epileptics. Strangely, some Roman physicians actually reported that this treatment worked. The origins of the sacred or apoplectic properties of the blood of a slain gladiator likely lie in Etruscan funeral rites. Etruscan civilization was a precursor to Roman Italy, which was mostly settled around the modern city of Tuscany. Although the influence of this religious background faded during the Roman Republic, the magical use of gladiators' blood continued for centuries. After the prohibition of gladiatorial combat in about 400 AD, an executed individual became the legitimate successor to the gladiator, and the practice of selling blood potions carried on. Occasional indications in early modern textbooks on medicine, as well as reports in the popular literature of the 19th and early 20th century, document the existence of this ancient magical practice until modern times. But now, as we have advanced much further medically and humanly, we know how crazy Romans were drinking the blood of a dead person like a vampire. They willingly drank poison. We established two things earlier. Roman leaders were crazy and Romans loved to drink weird stuff, as they willingly drank the blood of gladiators. Think of this as a combination of the two. Roman emperors drank poison so they could obtain immortality and immunity. Wow. Yes, you heard that right. Roman emperors were known to frequently consume every known poison possible so that they could obtain immunity to the poisons, and not only that, they also believed it could grant them immortality. As such, they would drink poisons, and as time went on they eventually began to mix poisons together to drink. Think of it like a poison cocktail, so they could get their immunity faster. Needless to say, this didn't work out for them as they hoped, and it led to numerous numbers of Roman emperors dying from poisoning themselves. With all that has been said, what do you think about ancient Rome now? Which of these practices was the strangest to you? Which other historical eras would you like us to talk about? Tell me your answers down in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also hit the bell as well so you don't miss any video, cause we have a lot more interesting things to come. See you soon.